Alright, hello. Let's get right to it. Caster frames have become extremely good as of the old piece due to some new arcanes that surfaced. And the arcanes that I'm gonna talk about a bit more today are Arcane Circumvent and Arcane Concentration. So, in case you don't know, both of these arcanes are absolutely amazing. 60% ability duration for free is ridiculous. And it is easily counteractable for fleeting expertise, which gives 60% ability efficiency and 60% negative ability duration. We will see a combination with this, I think, at least. I don't remember exactly. But the idea is I will show you 4 Warframes that can use at least one or both of these new arcanes and are incredible for using as a caster frame. For these Warframes, there will be one small caveat. I will be using Larva to group enemies. As you can see, Larva is just a normal grouping tool. It can be replaced by a lot of other things. If you don't have Larva, you can use a Snare, you can use Zephyr's Subsume, you can use Magus Anomaly for your operator, you can use the Scioted Secondary, you get it. You just need something that groups enemies and you're good to go. It doesn't really matter what else it is. I just like Larva for the simple reason that Larva is very instant grouping and it takes no time at all for the enemies to go to the larva, which makes it very nice for the arcanes to work together. In case you don't know what Circumvent does, because I didn't talk about it, rolling through enemies steals 50% of their defenses for yourself. So this means that if you have an overguarded enemy or an Eximus enemies, you're still part of their overguard. There is a cap to 10,000, so you will most likely see 10,000 overguard stolen at all times. But it does steal 50% of their overguard regardless. It just gives you 10,000 at max for yourself. And then obviously if you're against Corpus or Corrupted, you will get shields, and if you're against Grineer, you will get armor. And only the armor part will actually last 15 seconds. The other two, Overguard and Shield, do not have a limit, which makes this arcane absolutely broken on pretty much any Warframe. If you have survivability issues on any single Warframe, just use Arcane Circumvent. Seriously, it's that good. You can simply use Arcane Circumvent and it's absolutely goated. So, for today's showcase, we will showcase 4 different Warframes, starting with a Warframe I like playing a lot, but I couldn't make work for casting abilities for a very long time, and now I finally made it pretty good. So, this is Ember, and she is a fan favorite for her skin, but she recently has become quote-unquote power crept, which I do not really agree on, but it is how people perceive things with new Warframes that have fire-based abilities and shit. My sword setup is a bit interesting. Usually with Ember, I would do 2 strength swords, then 1 maximum energy field on spawn, and 1 effectiveness on energy orb, then whatever here. But this is 2 casting speed, 2 effectiveness energy orbs, and 1 maximum energy field on spawn. Because this is a very spammy build. It's this one, to be exact. This is, as you can see, a very spammy build. 45% efficiency, lots of strength, decent range, concentration, and circumvent both working at the same time on this build, with equilibrium, prime flow, and exothermic to give us that energy. And exothermic also provides energy conversion to be pretty much up permanently and grants us 50% extra ability strength from here. Plus the passive, you get close to 400% strength when everything's done correctly. So I'm gonna showcase this. For the pets, I suggest using something like this for the Panzer Vopafala. Counter recovery heals you, viral quills is for the priming, synth deconstruct is for the enemies to drop actual health orbs instead of just dropping nothing, and then the rest are just quality of life pretty much, and Martyr Symbiosis just in case you ever die, your companion dies instead of you, and yada yada yada. But overall, it doesn't really die. So let's start with her. We will be doing different missions every time. For Ember, I will go to Grineer. Sweet. I'll do 1 Grineer, 1 Origin, and then, I don't know, 1999 maybe? Although the tile set of 1999 is a bit, like, more... It has a bit less enemies. Anyways, as you can see, because of the starting energy on spawn, I have enough energy without using an energy pad. If you don't want to use the sword, feel free and use something else. But do use an energy pad for your starting energy. You're gonna need it, 100%. At least in my opinion. And the idea is simple. As you can see, you group enemies, you roll through them, and you cast forth. The great thing is that your energy generation is pretty much instant for this, so as I said, very spammy, very good damage overall. Use some kind of weapon to prime enemies as well, in my opinion. It helps quite a bit, but it doesn't really... It's not really needed. But you really want to have your passive up pretty much all the time, which is why we're using concentration as well, because concentration helps for our fourth ability to stay on enemies pretty much all the time. And as you can see from our passive right now, we're like hovering at 60 to 70% pretty much all the time. And energy is very, very easy. So this is also why we have the 2 casting speed shards. As you can see, this is incredibly spammy. So casting speed shards, you know, I absolutely recommend using for Warframes like this that tend to spam a lot of abilities. And yeah, very straightforward overall. Very cool and clean, fluid gameplay. It feels really nice to use, and the damage is also actually really good. Not only do you steal enemy armor by using Circumvent and dashing through them, if you haven't used your 3 on them, or if you find some Xmas enemies like this, now we have 10,000 overguard. So Healing Flame as an augment is pretty much power crept by a simple arcane. It's kind of crazy. You don't need to use the arcane at all, or the augment at all. It's really, really nice. Plus, your 3 is usually only used on this build just to either armor shape after you group them, or to simply reduce the rate of which your second ability happens. No other time. It's capture something on the floor. See, this is the one thing that Larva is not good at, because sometimes it captures things through the floor, but other than that, it's pretty much perfect. It's like exactly what I want when I want the grouping tool and why I choose it. This is a very fun build to try. I haven't tried it in level cap, so, you know, don't ask me about that. I will try it for sure, and I think in level cap it will help a lot having these extra enemies to steal overguard from. But overall, as you can see, no issues with energy whatsoever. You like spend a lot, but it all comes back up immediately the moment you kill some enemies. And you could always use melee Kareen on one of your melee weapons to help out, because you are dashing through enemies anyways for Circumvent, so melee Kareen is just extra damage. For that, if you want some suggestions, I would recommend maybe Thalis, Tuck and Lug, some Gunblade, maybe like Redeemer Prime, or even Glaive Prime. Glaive Prime is actually really good with melee Kareen, and kind of revived the weapon in a way, because Glaive Prime has been... It felt like it's been getting power crept ever since, you know, melee influence. It has felt like Glaive Prime has really not seen the light of day a lot, but it's actually like really strong with melee Kareen, so I really appreciate it. So as you can see, not craziest kill per minute for sure, and this style set doesn't help at all because it has a very large area that enemies have to go up the stairs here, so it limits the enemy density a bit with that way. But from my testing, it does reach like close to 100 kills per minute, and it's just very fun to use overall. For Acolytes, I would suggest just like, you know, having a weapon to shoot them, because obviously abilities versus Acolytes usually not the best idea, and especially when your abilities deal primarily hit damage with the heat rocks. So yeah, not really ideal. I will agree with that. But you could always just, you know, pick a Magistar and that will be fine. But yeah, very cool. And overall, the gameplay is similar to this on pretty much every Warframe that we're gonna see today. And it's really fun. very active, something right up my alley, at least for me. So that is Ember, and she feels really fun to play with this. Honestly, I will try to get her to a level cap, see how this performs at the level cap, because I feel like it has a lot of potential. And with the fact that you can use something like the Furies on the secondary and do some hidden herd stuff with it, it can become even better. I'm, just saying. Plus secondary fortifier, if you really want to. I don't think you need it because of Circumvent, but you can still. There are still layers to this shit. There is there is just layers to this shit and how good it can get. And yeah, Ember with these Arcanes is really, really fun, really, really strong. And so far, this has been by far the strongest ability type build that I've tried with Ember. And surprisingly, it's even without using things like Roar. So if someone has Roar in your squad, you're going to have a really good time with this, for sure. Moving on, we're going to look into Gyre next, who has pretty much an extreme potential when it comes to Circumvent because she already has a grouping ability in Cold Horizon, and her abilities, her most important, not most important, but most famous subsume is Pillage. And essentially Circumvent is just Pillage but better because it also steals Overguard. And yeah, it's really, really beautiful what it can do. So I'm gonna take a Glaive Prime. I don't really need it, but my Glaive Prime build does have melee Kareen anyway, so I'm gonna take it. Kratos also had melee Kareen, but as you can see, as you saw before, I didn't really use it much. And overall, I think ability buffing Gyre is way, way stronger nowadays because of these new Arcanes. And these new Arcanes, the new update overall is really, really big. It's basically the best update Warframe has had in a very long time, at least 3 years. At least 3 years time, this is the best update Warframe has ever had. The new additions from Uriel to the Descendia to the Perita Rebellion to the new Arcanes. The only thing that a lot of people have been complaining is that the new weapons haven't been that exciting. I think the Vincubus is really good conceptually. I wish the melee version of the Vincubus was stronger, but overall, I've had like no issues with either of them. I'm gonna use the energy pot here, honestly, I kinda need it. Anyway. So as you can see, your dash essentially becomes an ability when using Gyre with this. So you can just dash through people, you proc your 3rd and 4th ability, you freeze the enemies with melee Kareen, which adds critical damage to your ability since Gyre's abilities can actually crit. And it also armor strips them. It is an insane combination. And if things go south, you also have the simple yet very effective second ability to group people. And then you can just dash through them and just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, simply dashing on Gyre is basically an ability when you have Circumvent and Kareen on her. It's insane. It's so beautiful. So yeah, you can literally go on exterminate missions, run around, do this, and people will die. And yes, I know this guy does have 5 Tau Purple Shards for ability damage on enemies affected by electricity, but still, come on. We're talking about some crazy damage here. And some ability too, because as you can see, like, I'm max Overguard, max shield, max everything right now. It is quite insane to think about. And yeah, I barely need to use any abilities. For Ember, I did need to use like the Glaive Altfire to prime sometimes. It does add a lot of damage. For Gyre, I don't really need to use weapons unless it's an Eximus maybe. I don't necessarily need to use abilities on Eximus, but it does help, so I'm gonna do it, you know. Why not be efficient when you can? And obviously you can always just throw the Glaive Prime if you ever find an Eximus units. You just dash through them twice, shoot the Glaive Prime. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Gyre with this is just so unbelievably strong. It just multiplies the damage of her abilities like by a lot. The best part about melee Karin and Glaive, by the way, is that I don't know if you saw from that Eximus, but if you are taking down their overguard with the Glaive itself by dealing the bleed proc, simply dashing through them boosts the damage of the bleed proc by 3 times by freezing them. So yeah, this is Karin is an incredible great arcane on the Glaive Prime, and I would recommend it for Gyre because all she really needs to have a weapon for is those Eximus units, and you know you can just do this and the Eximus units go boom. Obviously there are others. It's not just the Glaive. You can do Cold Apotheosis, you can do other stuff, but I really like the guaranteed bleed proc on the Glaive Prime over here. And I don't think something like a melee influence or some other AoE melee would be needed. You have way too much AoE already through your abilities on this Warframe. But yeah, really recommend Gyre. As you can see, the KPM is pretty decent. We're close to like 120. With barely using any weapons. It's mainly just abilities. Now, I'm not an expert. I don't know if Melikarine works on acolytes, but you do get the freeze effect sound when you dash through the acolytes without actually freezing them. And I'm not sure if that means Karine is working on them or not. And I can't really test it because I don't really have a simulacrum or something to test it otherwise. But, you know, take this with a grain of salt. Check the wiki. I don't know if the wiki has anything on acolytes or anything like that. But there is a chance that Karine does work on even on targets that can't actually get proven, which would make it very overpowered. But even if it doesn't, it's still an extremely good arcane choice for a lot of weapons. Yeah, Gyre Prime, very good. Very strong, and Circumvent feels like it was made for her specifically and with her in mind. And it wouldn't surprise me considering she is the newest Prime Warframe. But yeah, Circumvent Karine, armor stripping, overguard stripping, shield stripping. You get the enemies frozen. Because the enemies are frozen, you deal more critical damage with your abilities. It's all just so beautifully synergistic. I absolutely love it. So yeah, do give a Gyre a try with Arcane Circumvent if you haven't. It's very fun and very effective as well. I think it does make Gyre level cap viable without even having to need a subsume at all. Like, yeah, you can subsume her too, but you don't really need to. At some point, when enemies get tanky enough that you don't actually one-shot them with your 3 and 4, grouping them with your 2 and then pressing 1 and dashing through them does become way more useful. So I wouldn't really subsume anything, but if you want to, then feel free. Up next, we're gonna take a look at Koumei. So Koumei, you know, a very flexible frame in terms of what you want to do, whether it's weapon platforms, ability damage, or both. Uh, this build pretty much focuses entirely on ability damage, so this one. It subsumes her 4th ability, since her 4th ability doesn't really benefit from enemies being grouped up. So you just subsume this for whatever you want, either Roar, Larva, or anything. I don't know. I will use Larva for grouping, as I said, so definitely this. And then just simply negative duration is fine, since your first ability doesn't really... You will spam it so much that it doesn't really matter. Your 3rd doesn't benefit from duration, and so does your 2nd. So negative duration is actually really good on this build. Circumvent, so you can roll through the enemies once they're grouped from Larva, and then Impetus to give you that insane ability efficiency to not really care about anything. So as you can see, there is a lot of stuff here. Equilibrium, energy conversion, you know, some extra strength never hurts, especially with the amount of damage you will be dealing with Kumihimo. And Omikruji's Fortune is, for me, an augment that never really leaves your build. It's an augment that I, in fact, wish was a part of Koumei's kit, but hey, what can you do? The moment when it comes to augments, really. Same thing goes for Gyre's, third ability augment with, what was it? I don't remember the name. I don't really care. Anyways, but you get what I mean. It's just really, really sad to see that you could, in fact, get so much more potential on a Warframe by letting the implement an augment to their kit innately for more synergies and then letting you actually mod properly. And it's also the reason why I don't really like Frost as a Warframe. Frost has so many Warframes, so many augments that play a crucial part on his kit that it really just throws me off because I'm like, you know, I wanna like put mods on it and now I can't. But yeah, as you can see, what just happened? I got 4 666s in a row. What? Yo, I should go to the lottery. Hello? Yo, that's crazy. What? I should genuinely go to the lottery. What the fuck? Yo, somebody. Okay, I will 100% get a comment from this. I swear, we're playing the same game. I'm not a game dev. I haven't done anything. I don't know how I got so many 666s in a row. But yeah, very cool in terms of how much damage it deals. And obviously, as you go through the mission, you get more strength and more decrease. This is gonna get just even stronger. So, yeah. I've never in my life have started a mission on Koumei where I got 3 666s in a row. That's like a completely obscure thing to me. That can somebody wait? Somebody in the comments calculate the chance that this had to occur. It has to be like incredibly low. It had to be like fucking dream levels. What the hell? Oh man. Sometimes I love this game. Maybe I should roll a Riven mode after I'm done with this video. Alright, sadly we didn't get double strength and range, but maybe it's for the better, so I can show this on its normal, how it's supposed to be. Anyways. The best part about this is, like, once you hear the 666, you know that everything's dead. Already, this deals, like, pretty good damage on its own, but genuinely, if you hear 666, everything's dead. Like, you already know that everything is just dying immediately. Alright, we even seized a decree. Look at that! Dude, the luck is crazy, this mission. Number 1 rule of gambling. There is always a 50% chance. You either win or you don't. But yeah, very cool build overall. I'm probably gonna ignore this decree. I don't know how I would do it. Without abusing weapons, at least. I could abuse my weapons to do it, but I don't want to do it. See, this is much better. And obviously, every challenge that has this kill enemies affected by XYZ status effect, you just do them automatically. Which is really cool. Man. The blast procs you can get from this are just so funny. And obviously I'm not even using a very insane pet for this. I'm using a Panzer Bopafala, which yes, does put viral stacks on enemies. But we're playing Koumei. We will have viral stacks on enemies no matter what. I don't think like that changes much. But hey, more power to that guy. Oh, it's violence. You slut. I don't like my abilities being stripped from me. I'm sorry, Balance. Hopefully you understand. Very cool. No fucking way. Yeah, I should really take a lottery. This wasn't even a Radiant Relic, by the way. Hey, it's whatever. We're on the gambling frame after all, right? We are. This is literally the meme. I can't stop winning. Like, what the hell? Oh well. You know, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's a good showcase of Koumei's capabilities. This outset has less enemy spawns anyway, so I was gonna get far lower KPM, so I didn't really care about that much. But I mean, overall, this this was just such a funny showcase. I can't believe I actually got like three three triple sixes in a row at the start of a mission. Gold part with a flawless. Oh no way! Forgot about this. Yo, have you guys seen this before? Wait, let's watch it together. What the hell? Yo, this video is gonna be peak. It's gonna be like a complete different experience for everyone. Also, obviously, you can like skip it. I'll add timestamps. Haven't actually seen this, by the way, so you get live reaction, I guess. You get shot road. Where do you think you're going, bro? So wait, I wonder, will Loid actually be up here somewhere? Oh! Oh, okay, that was it. Well, Gigachad Road strikes again. I should check if he actually appears somewhere up there now. That would be pretty cool, to be honest. Well, Banjing Marie was a correct choice after all. I'm kidding. Anyways, last frame, Voruna. Voruna. Of course. Oh yeah. Sorry, forgot. Shards for Koumei. Forgot. I'm sorry. They're right here. They're right here. 3 ability damage on the on electricity status, 1 maximum energy field on spawn, and 1 toxic status effects deal more damage. This is the setup I use on Koumei anyways. Like, regardless of my build, this is what I use. And I had a second Koumei where I've been trying the funny primary Sadushan swords, and this have been really fun, but I'm just gonna say it, like these swords right here, they feel incredibly good, so definitely use them. Anyways, after all that weird stuff out of the way, Voruna. Some very common events on this video. So this is my regular Voruna build, a Prey of Dinar mecha empowered whatever build, right? This is like, you know this build, you like this build, whatever. Fuck all that. let's go ahead and use Ulfron's Endurance. Why? Why not? It's fun. And actually, after Circumvent and Karin got added, because, you know, Ulfron's Descent also crits and gains crit damage from your first ability, it's actually really fucking strong. Like, with Karin and everything, Dispute, this is really, really strong. So, yeah, let's showcase it. I forgot the Shards again, didn't I? God damn it. The ability damage on enemies affected by electricity, and 3 toxin status effects deal more damage. I think the toxin status effect shards are very overpowered and shouldn't be underestimated on these casting frames that have like a lot of status effects at the same time, so you should use them more at least. Anyways, what do we use Voruna on? Voruna, I mean, I can do anything with her. I could do Grenier, I could do like... Let's go here. Where is Ophelia? It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, all the enemies will drop the same, and I just don't want to do Corpus because there will be that one person that comment that says, oh, but you're against Corpus, they die like paper anyway. Man. What the fuck? Anyways. So, yeah. If you freeze them with your second ability, or you freeze them with Karin, you know, it doesn't matter, but this is very Voruna pilled gameplay when you do this. And you're very safe as well. Because, you know, Arcane Circumvent is very crazy. Sajin has always told me that he loves his Warframe, but he never could make the Ulfron's Descent work, and he really wanted to. And if you're watching Sunday, this is what I present you. An incredible result of the power creeping the hell out of the game, essentially. But hey, overall, I mean, this is fun. I like this. I always wanted to do this and deal like really good damage, and now I finally can, so... Look at that. I know Brief Respite is like overkill here, and I don't need it, but I genuinely don't know what aura to put on this. Like, Corrosive Projection doesn't make sense, because I'm like kinda pretty much doing this anyways. And armor shipping them with Circumvent. Then we have the argument of maybe... I didn't have my first ability up. Whoopsies. I was wondering why I wasn't doing enough damage, but it was due to me not having the first ability up. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, aura mode. Yeah, what aura mode would you even put? Like, I can't put growing power because we're using abilities only. I can't put power donation, obviously, because what the fuck? Why would I put power donation on this? I don't have any companions doing the work for me. I really don't know what I could use. So I just went with Brief Respite. It made the most sense. Anyways, very cool build. Overall, as you can see, caster frames, regardless of which caster frame you choose, are incredibly buffed because of Karin, Circumvent, and Concentration. And I think you guys should try them a lot more. They are very underutilized and not very talked much since the update has dropped. And I'm not really sure why, because, I mean, this is incredible, man. I don't know. I would say, no Danima, I don't. I would say that this Voruna build would easily do level cap, like very easily do level cap. The damage is for sure there. Then when it comes to survivability, I mean, you have pretty much perma overguard and you're invisibles, and you have status effect immunity through your passive. So I really don't think you would have any issues with level cap on this build, as long as you play properly. That is. No energy issues because third ability plus equilibrium. Genuinely just yeah, a very incredible build that feels out amazing to play. Like, I still want Voruna to walk on all her boards when using her fourth ability, but I barely can see her walk using this, so I'll take it. I'll take what I can get, you know? Yeah, for as my friend Ignis would say, 4 builds of dubious quality. Love that guy, by the way. Subscribe to him if you haven't. Also, Sci-Fi, if you guys haven't seen, he released his updated Limbo guide, and it's genuinely one of the best guides out there. I know not many people are interested in Limbo, but if you just want to know how Limbo works and how to play with him if you're in a squad, it can actually help a lot watching the guide. He goes all the way to talk about like synergies and broken synergies even with other frames, like how Yareli, for example, cannot dash out of the plane of existence when she's using Merulina, and some other clunky stuff with other frames. So definitely worth a watch, regardless if you're a Limbo player or not. Yeah, goodbye, Malice. Oh, I actually ran out of my fourth. I didn't even expect that to happen. I guess I used it too much on Malice, but don't worry, the stacks are really easy to get, as you can see. Yeah, I stayed here more than I should have, but hey. What can I say? I really like this build. It's super fun, and I will play Voruna way more now that this actually exists in the game, and it's genuinely really fun to play around with. And I wouldn't be surprised if I see people like doing Void Cascades with something like this with Voruna now, instead of just going melee Voruna like everyone else. Yeah, melee Voruna is good. She's still amazing. This is something you can do, and I think it's absolutely insane and very, very fun to play with as well. So yeah, that's gonna be it for our showcase today. I think there is a lot more Warframes that you can experiment on. If you main a specific Warframe and the cast abilities a lot, they do some decent AoE damage, you can go and experiment here with any type of grouping tool you want to do. One grouping tool that I forgot to mention, I'm sure I'm going to get a comment about it, is Vazarin's second ability. But I found out that Vazarin's second ability sometimes is a bit finicky and kind of groups people in a weird way where they go below the ground and then Circumvent doesn't hit for some reason. I don't know. It's weird. Take it with a grain of salt. I found Larva to be my favorite and by far the best one, and yeah. Overall, I think you can get some incredible results regardless of which Warframe you decide to play and cast your abilities. And this obviously includes any Warframe that has a pseudo exalted like Gyre or Korra or something like that. But for those Warframes that have melee pseudo exalted, I would still suggest using whatever pseudo exalted arcane you need and just putting melee Karine on your actual melee weapon. It won't boost the damage of your pseudo. It will not boost the damage of your pseudo exalted when you actually freeze the enemies, but ideally you won't even need to, and sometimes there will just be a better arcane to use anyway, and usually melee exposure, it just scales better with those warframes anyway. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.